and the vacuum is vacuum.
It's on.
I was trying to. Yeah, the vacuum's on.
Turn it on. The Dyson is in full effect.
What's the other one? Hoover.
Is that still around?
I don't know. Anyway, we are back. We are the Vacuous Perspective. I'm Val. He's Nate. And last week was last week.
Last week. If you're not into vacuum cleaners, because a lot of people aren't, check out the description below for just the things that we talk about. Whatever it is, we'll put the topics of discussion in there. Just check them out. There's something for everyone. That's my claim. That's what I stand by to this day.
You're worried about starting with vacuums.
I'm always worried about what we started with. Last week, I said that we can't talk about cricket. This is the wrong episode to talk about cricket.
Talked about cricket for ages.
We talked about cricket for about 20 minutes. I don't know anything about cricket.
No. Well, we know even less now than we used to know.
Oh, I actually did learn something, though. I was watching the cricket highlights. I don't want to get back into cricket again. Australia's playing New Zealand in the second test at the moment. And spoilers, just no one gives a shit. But Australia had a pretty good win.
Yeah.
But New Zealand were 1 for 111. And the commentator said, this is he didn't say Nelson. He goes, he's still talking to the other bloke. And he says, don't like this at all. Don't like it. He was getting at the 111.
He was getting at the superstition, that whole thing.
Yeah, because it looks like wickets with no bails on it.
It's clearly just because.
Wait, did I tell you this? Did we talk about this last week?
We didn't talk about this. We talked about the Nelson stuff at length.
We did, and I've done my homework on Lord Nelson, but I don't want to get into it right now.
But because you're exposed to this idea, the 111, you were looking out for it. Other times it would have just slipped right by.
I know.
I remember I was watching AFL once, and one of the commentators says he's kicked it to the teeth of goals. Never heard that phrase before. All of a sudden, I started hearing it every week, the same sort of phrases. Yep. So I think there is an element of you were looking for it. Because you were looking for it, you got it. You found it. And it confirms that the superstition is still alive and well in at least the commentators of today who are the players of yesteryear.
And do you know that a wicket fell on 111?
No way.
And the commentator
Did they love it?
No, he was very upset because he was a New Zealand commentator and New Zealand were batting.
Yeah, but did they acknowledge it?
No, they didn't after. He just said, I told you, knew it. It was just the highlights as well. I was watching the highlights, but I picked up from what he said. As soon as the wicket fell, he says, I told you I didn't like the number.
Wow.
And he didn't even say it was 111.
I don't like the number.
No, but
what are you meant to do? If you're on 110, should you be trying to get a couple? Skip 111?
Yeah, don't take the single is what I'm saying. Don't take the single.
It's more riskier to take the single than to actually go for another run. Even if they've got you dead with a run out, you're gone anyway. You're basically dead anyway.
We've talked about this. Sports is 99% mental. Like you could be Michael Jordan if you just wanted it. If you just
I think it's 10% mental, 88% superstition, and the rest is all just good luck.
Luck's got to be a component. It has to. Perhaps even more than 2%. I haven't done the math.
We haven't done the math.
Hey, but I was talking about Vice Admiral or whatever the fuck his name is, Horatio Nelson.
Horatio Nelson, the one-eyed whatever captain.
He was one-eyed. And then in the 111 thing, they apparently he made one eye, one arm, one leg. He had a lot of injuries in his life. I don't know if he was just clumsy.
And he won 3 battles or something, 111.
I think he won heaps of
shit.
Well, okay. I don't know. He did lots of shit. But how I couldn't remember the quote that he said?
Yeah, what was the quote?
I don't know the quote, but
Still don't know the quote.
Well, the gist of the quote, okay, the phrase "turn a blind eye" comes from him. You say he was going to turn a blind eye to that.
No way.
So he did have only one eye. He lost one of his eyes in a battle. And he was a really famous military naval commander. But I think before he became so famous, one reason he became famous was 1801. His commander, it was a while ago, his commander thought the British were about to be defeated. And the commander gave a signal to the fleet to disengage. Nelson disagreed and he put his telescope to his blind eye and claimed not to see any of the signals. So he said, I see no ships or I see no signals or some shit like that.
So he turned a blind eye to it.
He turned a blind eye, and apparently they had a really famous naval battle because he disobeyed his commander.
There you go. Wow. So he's got a couple of things, not just cricket stuff. He's got other stuff.
I think apparently
that's almost better.
Yeah, I think that's better. He's regarded as one of the best like fucking British people to have ever lived or something. Wow. I don't know who's taking the poll.
Wow.
I saw that he was ninth.
We're not understating the importance of the British naval capability, are we? We're really we're not turning a blind eye to the capabilities of the British naval fleet. Given that they went all right. Half the planet.
Yeah, I do believe they went on. And this was at the beginning of their golden period. What did they have, like good 200 years?
I don't know.
When did they colonise Australia? Like 17-something?
80,
70, around there. So he was born in 1777 or so, around that period.
Right on.
He was the captain of a frigate when he was 20.
All right.
What were you doing when you were 20?
I was working at a laser tag place.
Man, at least you were working.
I was at university.
I don't think I was working at that point.
You're
going all right. Yeah.
You were at university.
But you weren't captaining the laser tag. Actually, you were in a team. We were in a team together, actually.
I think that my laser tag exploits, being a captain, working there, I think that sort of equates to a frigate in the British Navy. I think
and you may have been the captain of our
comparable.
Team. Actually, you were definitely the captain of our team.
Yeah, you were the strategist. And then we had maybe you were very keen on that sort of side of things.
I was. We
had a great team back then.
I was. What was my name?
Was it a
Hammer? Was dance commander.
Okay. Yeah.
I was. I was a She Had song. General Electric. That's right. I was General Electric. Someone was Major Pain. So a dance commander, Major Pain. I think. We all had
military names. Is what you're getting at here. Commanders, generals, captains. I was a captain. There was another one. I can't remember if he was a vice admiral. I don't know what his rank was, but there was a major as well. We had the lot. So what I'm saying is that the Horatio thing and the laser tag thing, they're pretty much the same thing.
Well, I actually think the more I'm thinking about it, it's the way you look back through history, you put a spin on it. Okay, so let's say you're fatally wounded and die, heaven forbid. Okay, in some, I don't know.
It is one of the options.
A comet. Let's say a comet hits you, right? You become famous.
Bloody hell!
You've got a lot of material out there on the internet now. We've got 88 Two Fat Ladies worth of episodes,
right?
And
might see a little uptick. Might get a little uptick
because now we're getting a little media attention, right?
Meteor attention. Was that a pun? Did you do that on purpose? You didn't, but it was good.
Definitely not.
Meteor attention.
And then when we look back, I start saying a story like, he was known as Captain whatever, right? Or if it happened to me, I'm
right. And he also coined the phrase Electric. "turn a blind eye." He also coined the phrase.
It's all spin.
Yeah. He did a lot of cricket stuff. He's a pretty superstitious lad. Don't embellish my story too much when I'm gone. If I am fatally wounded, heaven forbid.
With some meteor attention.
Maybe just when you talk about my baseball career, maybe just big that up a bit more than it was. Maybe just jazz that up a little bit.
A left-handed knuckle bowler.
Yeah, it's
ambidextrous knuckle bowler. Do you have to nominate which hand you're pitching with?
Well, I could pitch with either hand and hit with either hand as well, and I could do them at the same time. So,
wow,
like I could pitch and bat.
That sounds impressive. You can pitch and bat at the same time.
So I'd throw the ball. I could also hit the ball.
We throw the ball up in the air. What?
Well, yeah, it's a bit of a looping pitch. It's not a fastball. Yeah.
No. So then, right, I don't know if Horatio Nelson got a promotion after the 1801.
Yeah,
but he's only got one eye and one arm at this point. So I mean, do you want to promote someone that's, struggling? Is it wrong to call him handicapped? Like, what's the word?
Absolutely.
Is he disabled? What is he? He's not fully able. Because he's got one eye and one arm.
And one leg, didn't he have one leg as well?
Well, this is the embellishment. They say he had one leg, But apparently he never lost a leg. It's
so maybe he had an extra leg. Maybe he had 3 and then went to 2. We don't know. But there's a lot of... Maybe he did look like some wickets at one point. Let's not talk about the crickets and the wickets.
Well, in 1805, he was in... I think he'd been promoted by that point because he was a big deal. He just won a big battle for him. The Battle of Copenhagen in 1801. He won that one.
Wow, it's got a name. It's got one of those names. Great.
It's got one of them. And now in the Battle of Trafalgar...
Wow, another huge
in
one.
1805, he took on the British fleet took on the combined French and Spanish fleets, allegedly. He was fatally wounded, but he was told of his victory before he died.
You did it.
You know, they basically said that to him, probably something along those lines.
Yeah, and he would have said something like, "Make sure turn a blind eye pops off. I love cricket." Ugh.
But there's these. I don't know who painted it, but there's a lot of like paintings of him like ascending into heaven in the Battle of Trafalgar.
No.
Yeah, so he's got Nelson's column. Have you heard of Nelson's column in Trafalgar Square in the UK, in London?
No, I've never heard of it.
I've been there. I've realised I've been to Nelson in New Zealand that's named after him. And I've been to everyone goes to Trafalgar Square if you go to London.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone, but I mean, it's a place.
Hey, Nelson's column's a big deal, isn't it? Wow.
I want Nelson's painting.
He's a big deal.
Yeah, well, he's a bloody big deal. I mean, he's not.
You're talking about
list,
the painting
apparently.
of him when he's it's like an oil painting. He's got his little hat on. He's in full admiral garb. It's on his Wikipedia page.
Oh, it's Legacy. I just got a picture of it. Legacy of Horatio Nelson, first Viscount Nelson. Oh, Wikipedia. It is on Wikipedia. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Where's the ascending into heaven stuff?
Oh, I'll send you a link. Sorry,
That's okay.
I'll send you a link.
Just on Discord if you want.
How's that go?
Yeah.
Check the second picture down.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was a big swinging dick.
Yeah, massive.
But I did my homework.
Shit.
Do you like that?
Okay, yeah, right.
Oh.
And wow. There's like angels carrying him off and an old bloke with a sort of Poseidon, maybe Poseidon's there, and he's going, "Oh, does someone want to grab this bloke?" And there's Roman centurions up there and all sorts of gnarly shit. It's a pretty gnarly painting.
It's actually really good, right? When I saw it, I thought I could get around that.
Jeez. Pretty intense.
Yeah, there's someone with a trumpet. Is that Poseidon with a trumpet? Or this is just there is a lot going on.
No. So he's got what looks to be a Poseidon-y fellow with his little trident sort of grabbing him by the left arm and pulling him up.
Yeah, I see. Like a Jesus type character, but...
Well, he's just a guy with a beard, but he's got a crown on and he's got a trident. He's got a trident over his shoulder.
Who's this poor earthly bloke that looks like the Spud Shed guy that's, just wearing a vest, kind of stuck on earth?
Oh, he's looking up at it? Is that the guy you're talking about?
No, he's looking down, one hand up. He's got one hand. He's asking a question.
I might not be looking at the same fella as you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see him. He's doing the classic point up to the sky thing, which is a classic piece of your religious imagery.
I saw a bit of that actually on the weekend.
And you can literally see God in the kingdom of heaven up there in the top left. You can literally see the big boy he's got his own crown and he's got a beard. So
who's
lock that in. That's God.
Oh, yeah, right in the background.
Right up the back.
It's a pretty sick painting.
Yeah,
I can get around
You've got the lady who gives you a little hat made of leaves before you have to go into heaven, and Poseidon's going, fucking hurry up. Got to get this dude up to heaven ASAP. Then you get some, I don't know, fairy dust rain down on you, and then you meet that's when you meet the Roman centurions. That's about the time you meet the Roman centurions. They talk to you for a bit, and then you go talk to the big guy. That's how it goes down.